Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We're here. We've arrived, mashallah, in Dar es Salaam, the capital of Tanzania, and we're really looking forward to our trip. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be exciting, and we're really looking forward to visiting our brothers and sisters and seeing what they're doing, mashallah, here and the dawah work they're doing. And we'll be letting you know as we go along, inshallah. It's Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, in what used to be the maternity hospital. The last time I was here was 57 years ago, because this is where I was born. Let's go and have a look. It was strange in a way when I was going to the hospital, because I was sort of expecting that I would have some sort of emotion or some sort of feeling about it, but in fact, in reality, I didn't. It was just felt like, yeah, this was a building, you know. I was more thinking about my mum and what she told me, like how she refused to scream when she gave birth to me, because everyone was screaming and she was, I'm not going to scream and make myself look pathetic. That was my mum. I mean, the things that go through my head is, I wonder how things were for my mum and dad. I wonder how life was. I wonder how it all looked like, you know. It's more about, I wonder how different it was, you know, and how their life was. That's what I'm thinking about, really. But I don't know, it's a bit weird, you know. There's no way to really connect yourself to how you were when you were a baby, right? I don't know. So, yeah. Funnily, the thing that made me a bit more emotional was going to the place where I must have spent 2 years, the first 2 years of my life. You know, I would have loved to see the house where my parents lived. That would have been, but it wasn't there, because it's now St. Joseph's Church, a big, very nice, I have to say, looking Catholic church, which is sort of ironical since I was Catholic and now I'm Muslim, alhamdulillah. But yeah, so I think from that perspective, that was sort of much more emotional. The reason I've come back here to Tanzania is because of the work of Aira. And if it wasn't for what we were doing here, I don't know if I would come back. I have no, you know, I'm not that sort of person. I feel, I don't live in the past. I don't feel I have a strong connection with the past. I'm a person who, like, almost too much lives in this particular moment right now. I mean, to the extent that sometimes I can't even put any dates to anything. It's all, you know, the past for me is like a big blur. So I think it's only because of Aira, only because of the work of Aira, because what the brothers are doing here is extraordinary. It really is. And I mean, I heard that it was amazing, you know, but as they say, hearing about something is not like seeing it. Alhamdulillah. How did you become Muslim? Very quickly, very quickly. No, take your time.
These imams stayed in a remote location going through this program. It was like a, you can say, intense training program. They would study from Fajr to Isha. So 6 months intense program, which finished in February 2023. So they're fluent in reading the Quran, they can teach the Quran, they memorized 2 juz of the Quran, and they learned basic fiqh. So these certificates are going to be given to those imams for completing this program every day. We have similar programs, or actually the same program, taking place in Malawi. In Rwanda is starting, and we're going to replicate this in Uganda as well. So the idea is that these new Muslim imams, they will stay in their villages. They have been picked, hand-picked from villages, and they will remain in the villages to serve as imams. So these imams will become part of a system, a network, and they will create institutions in these villages, like basic madrasas for children, because they are the future. So the third stage, basically, the third and the second stage is intertwined.
He's a very young lad one, isn't he?
They are mostly young men.
He's the youngest, he's 16. No, he's 18, sorry.
This has got smudged.
Yeah, this one was smudged.
Really love the way that the code of honor is displayed throughout the office. Very, very prominently and very beautifully done in these really nice frames. I really like that. That stands out for me. It took us a long time to get here. You know, I mean, Qadr Allah, everything happens according to Allah's Qadr. Yeah? But I think we should have been in this place 5 years ago. And part of the reason is we It's really challenging, guys. It would be great for us to sit down and go through the whole history of IERA and how we started and all the problems and the difficulties we went through and the challenges. But one of the big challenges was raising money in the beginning, because people will give a lot of money for relief, for the earthquake, for the orphans, to build a well, to build a masjid. But when you tell people we need money to give da'wah, it's not in the culture of Muslims. Thanks, Saeed. We just visited the IERA office in Dar es Salaam. What a beautiful, clean office, and so many positive activities taking place there. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah, the brothers, the work they're doing is just phenomenal. Alhamdulillah. But as always, we can grow our work, we can do more. Like many things, we are, I say, mostly probably hindered by finance. And that's why we keep having to make appeals and asking for your donations, because in reality, that's possibly the biggest barrier between us and just doing more of the amazing work that we're doing, alhamdulillah. It's really great to see that the brothers there have adopted a really serious attitude. I was really enjoyed being in the finance department and hearing how the brother there, Edie, was really strict with his processes, and everything needed to be justified. I always think of that hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he said that Islam will enter every home, even if it is made of mud or hair. IERA Tanzania has a very special, unique program that is done here in Tanzania that's not done anywhere else, and that is the new Muslim Imam program. And this, without doubt, was one of the most stunning and impressive, visually, emotionally, visually stunning, emotionally, everything. It was like if you'd made a Hollywood set of where we went to see the Imam's graduation and you built it from scratch, you couldn't have done a better job.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Basically, this is an Imam's program. So what happens is we take these new Muslims, the most promising new Muslims, and we give them enough knowledge, very intensive. They're studying every day, and they learn essential fiqh. They'll learn a good portion of the Quran. The point is that they are now able to go back to the villages where they took Shahada, and they can lead and guide their people. Imam Malik was sitting where he used to teach, and some people came from Kufa, from Iraq, and they had come with 200 questions from their people. He only answered 4. They said, "What will we tell our people?" He said, "Tell them Imam Malik does not know." So my brothers, this is very important. Do not speak about Allah and His religion without knowledge. Generally along the coast of East Africa, Islam is quite strong and quite established. But when you get to the interior, what you find happening is people are Muslim, but then they slip into their old religions. And so people, because there's not really any knowledge, there's not really any community. So we want to make sure that that doesn't happen again. What better than to have an imam? Once you have an imam, a person who has studied, who understands the basics of the religion, he can tell the others. Then you begin to get a semblance of some real permanent presence of Islam. It's not just going to dissipate that easily. So that's the idea behind it. And who better than these new converts? Alhamdulillah, we've had about 17,000 shahadas here in Tanzania since we started our work. And this is done by our teams, our outreach specialists, going to the villages and inviting them to Islam. One of the most challenging things that we have to do here in Tanzania is getting permission from the government, because in order to be able to give dawah, you need to get permission. You need to get like a permit. That's basically, you need a permit, which is funny. Of all the things you would imagine, it's one of the most challenging things to do, probably more challenging than actually going out into the villages and giving the dawah. So, but that's what they do. They go to the villages, they give dawah. When people accept Islam, our outreach specialists will stay with them for a period of time, at least to ensure that they have some basic knowledge, that they're praying, and then we organize follow-up activities with the new Muslims, inshallah. Again, always emphasizing, so important to make sure they stay upon the deen.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah wa ashhadu.
There's no doubt in my mind that one of the great reasons, or one of the reasons for the success of IERA in Tanzania is Taj Muhammad Abbasi, the head of operations here in Tanzania, alhamdulillah. His positive effect is not only here in Tanzania, but throughout our operations in Africa, alhamdulillah. He has a lot of experience. He's really, really dedicated to dawah. He's not just an admin guy. He loves giving dawah. He's a person who gives dawah whenever he can, alhamdulillah. It just shows, brothers and sisters, that, it's very important to have good people. And in order to have good people, you need to be able to offer them at least some type of financial opportunity that makes sense. And this is one of the things that we really try to get right in IERA. We don't give people crazy, excessive wages, but at the end of the day, if you want good people, you have to be able to remunerate them in a way that is going to keep them on board. People don't do it for the money, but without the money, they couldn't do it. So it's, this is really, really important. This is always part of our vision from the beginning in IERA, to people who really have that love and that passion for dawah wouldn't have to worry about, how am I going to feed my family? How am I going to pay the bills? Because we can help them to do that. I only wish you guys, any one of you, could come and actually see what is happening. Honestly, no video does it justice. Even a video that is directed by the amazing director Abid, even something directed by him just does not do it justice. You have to come and see it with your eyes. Who knows, maybe that might be a program we'll do in the future. We'll let people come and experience it for themselves, and you can really see how awesome and amazing this transformation is. Dawah is an obligation amongst the obligations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us as Muslims. If we don't give dawah, we will be destroyed. That's what Allah told us. He told us that if we don't make the effort in this path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we don't strive and struggle to make His word the highest, then Allah said, He said, wait until my decision comes. And the Mufassirun said the decision of Allah means His punishment. So dawah is something really, really important. And it also, giving dawah says a lot about the person you are. It says a lot about who and what you are as a Muslim. Because really, if you love something, you can't help except want other people to share in that thing. So dawah is really also an expression of your love for Allah and His Messenger and His deen. And those are some reasons why dawah is really, really important.
IERA Tanzania. Share Islam. Share Islam. IERA Tanzania.
Baba na mama, adabu watufunza. Baba na mama, wote wapewe. Sisi vijana, sisi vijana. watufunza, baba na mama adabu watufunza, baba na mama wote wapewe heshima, wote wapewe heshima.